um, your fitness coaching stuff. Can you tell the people about that a little bit?
So, my style of coaching is very old school. How I was taught to lift. Uh, I keep it very simple. Uh, very old school. Barbells, dumbbells, some machine stuff. Uh, I touch on the very important things. Like having a correct meal plan because a lot of people don't eat enough as much as they should. A lot of people undereat for their goals. Like I've had guys tell me that they want to put on size, and I ask them what they're eating. It's one or two scenarios. It's 4 protein shakes a day and 2 meals a day. I'm like, you want me to tell you how many meals a day you really having? Oh, I know. I got 6. No, you got 2 because protein shakes don't count as food. Okay, your body doesn't treat it as food. Your body's treated as a liquid, like no different than a chocolate shake or a vanilla shake going down. It treats it like food. Is it full of protein?
Right.
Yeah, of course. But your body's going to process it way differently than food. So, and in the other scenario, I've had guys eating like rabbits. Okay, they'll eat chicken, they'll eat fish, they'll eat vegetables. And I was like, well, where are the carbs at, bro? Well, I don't want to get too fat, man. I heard carbs make you fat. And then you have to educate them that what they're currently doing is going to do just that.
Yeah, I'm a good example of just that. I'm
Fair enough.
currently, and I've been currently for a while now trying to figure out how to get a good balanced diet based on my non-routine lifestyle. I don't know how many carbs I burn or calories I burn throughout a day doing what I do. And what I do, as you know, security work is you don't burn a lot of calories doing it unless you're doing some kind of physical walking foot patrol. But like
Right.
what I do, driving around a vehicle for 12 hours sucks. You're not burning any calories that way. I mean, you are naturally, every time you breathe, but not enough to really matter. Um,
Right. Right.
so balancing that, do you have any advice or anything?
My advice is that the key to uh, figuring out what you're actually burning, and granted, you can have a pretty good idea that what the good idea to start with is, you know, figuring out where your body type is. You know, you have an ectomorph that's a really skinny guy. You have an endomorph, which is a very big guy, which is what I am and what you are. Then you have a mesomorph who's kind of in between the two, kind of like the guy with the perfect genetics, the guy that can take a whole pizza and still have abs, you know, and still
Right.
look big,
I hate those
you
guys.
know. Yeah, yeah, and those guys are very few and far between. They're not as uh, they're not as much. In today's world, it's either ecto or endo. You're either the skinny guy or the big fat guy. Um, and being that you're an endomorph, you're only going to burn calories when you're actually in motion. Meaning if you're doing doing some sort of physical activity. You know, but if you're not doing any sort of physical activity, you're just sitting sedentary. You're not burning anything. Versus a guy who's an ectomorph who's burning calories 24/7. He
Right.
could be sleeping, he could be sitting, he could be doing physical activity. Which doing physical activity, he's doubling the amount of calories he's burning.
Right.
But sitting and sleeping and not really doing anything, he's still burning calories. So he has to constantly eat all the time,
Right.
possibly every 2 hours. For an endomorph, we can't do that. We can't eat every 2 hours because it goes into the factor of unless we're doing physical activity, it's only going to slow down our metabolism. So
Right.
we have to do extra work. Okay, and I didn't know this 12 years ago, and if I did, I probably would have been a lot further along than I am now. But I realized cardio had to be a regular thing. Without cardio, it's kind of like my metabolism has no reason to keep burning anything. And I'm not talking like, oh, an hour or anything. I'm talking something as small as 15, 20 minutes. So it's really intense cardio, okay, of some sort. Something that gets the heart rate up to about 125, 130 beats per minute, okay.
So are you an
Where
advocate for the high intensity interval training?
for a lot of bigger guys, yes, because it works beautifully for us, okay. Not so much for the muscle or the ectomorphs because they don't really need a lot of cardio. The ectomorphs need a lot more food than anything. I mean, I've trained with guys that are ectomorphs, and I can put them on a meal plan that has them hitting 4,000 calories a day, and they'll put on size. It'll be a struggle
Right.
because they're naturally inclined to keep burning calories and muscle at the same time, 24/7. For us bigger guys, we grow from protein. We respond well to a lot of protein. But we have to balance that because if we take on too much protein, we put on too much weight too fast. That's where the cardio comes in.
Right.
So for bigger guys, it's the balance between the meal plan and the cardio. If those two things are in place and they're being consistent, you'll drop weight and you'll put on muscle at the same time.
Right.
You do it the wrong way, meaning you're doing a shit ton of cardio and you're eating 2,000 calories a day, which just to give you an idea, just so I'm not talking a different language here, you have female competitors that get ready for shows at the day, sorry, days before their show, they're at least doing 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day. Female
Yeah.
competitors. So that gives you an idea that if you're doing about 1,800 to 2,000 calories as a man, that's not enough. Not when you
I'm
got
probably
female.
doing too much. That's probably my problem. If I start working out, like if I try to cut back and then try to work out, I'll find myself later at the end of the day saying, "Why did I eat that?" Because my
It's
body
about.
sometimes wants to start craving something, um, and I don't know how to break that cycle.
All right, so the cravings. That you brought up a good point. So the cravings are coming at the cost of not having enough of either protein or carbs. Okay, and generally what we crave is something in the realm of fats. Okay, now I've been keeping my fat content anywhere from 100 to about 120 grams a day. Okay, that's pretty low for someone that's 300 pounds, but it's manageable. Okay, uh, and I keep my carbs from 280 to 300. Okay, and that's manageable for me. That's enough to keep the cravings away. And when you say cut back, you have to be careful when you say that because when you start the process of trying to, drop a few pounds, it has to be a slow thing. You have to come down slowly because your body has to adjust to all that. If you do a drastic cut, of course you're gonna have cravings. Your body's not ready for it yet.
Okay, that's
So
something
you,
that I do. I try to do the intermittent fasting stuff.
which
Um,
is great, which is great to do, but you have to balance that. You can only do it for a few days, and then, scarily as this sounds, you have to put the carbs back in because now your body's going to respond differently now.
okay,
Okay, if you continue that for a long period of time, you just go straight into it, and you continue for a long period of time, you're going to crash and burn your metabolism.
okay, all right, cool. Well, I
What you
appreciate
have,
that information, man. It's definitely going to help me out. Without giving
what you,
everybody too much freebies there.
right?
uh, uh, let's let's tell everybody how they can